I mean, to be honest with you, I used to be incredibly intimidated by academics at that point. And again, I think it was
no need.
Kind of like oh my God, you know what I mean? And especially if anyone was doctor something, I mean, still am to a certain extent. Wolf asked me to speak at the New Directions conference a couple of years ago in Sheffield, and I had to sort of present there. And I was literally the only person on the sort of speakers thing that day that didn't have a PhD. And we, you know, typical Wolf again, Curry the night before, we all met up and he was like about 24, 25. I was the only one who didn't have a doctorate. I just sat there and felt like, oh my God, I am so out of place here. But then when it came to sort of doing the bit and presenting and just kind of got on there, I'd absolutely killed it. And then was just like, so again, it's just, I think it's my own sort of personal hang-ups and stuff. But like I say, I kind of at first thought it was going to be like a very academic setup. So Pete had invited me a couple of times and I kind of swerved it because I just felt a bit embarrassed or a bit out of place being there. But then getting in there the first time I actually went there and then realising that, yeah, I've got something to contribute here as well, but also that I knew what they were talking about straight away and kind of, but not just, I think these academics can talk about work in a certain way and can talk about addiction and recovery support and stuff like that. And it's theory. But I could hear them talking the theory, but could actually see how I could apply this stuff straight away and how we could actually make this stuff work on the ground straight away. Do you know what I mean? In a way, and when they're having the conversation with them, and then they were like, "Oh, well, this has only ever been an idea, but we never thought about it like that." And I was like, "Yeah, but if you did it, do you know what I mean?" So again, it just kind of. So
That's interesting.
It just felt like it worked because it was kind of like it is these people who can sort of understand, you know. And I mean, again, it was. There's still some stuff about recovery that I don't get, and I mean, I've got to be honest. And just some of the sort of primary fundamentals, like the fact that it's like you said before, it's contagious, it's infectious. But it's one of the things that I've always sort of struggled with is how someone goes from being like a negative influencer to being a recovery carrier. You know, and it's the same thing because those people have that disproportionate effect within the social circle, but in a negative way, and then become, do you know what I mean? So I'm sure somebody could explain it to me. There's a whole psychological journey and transformational process, but the key components are still there. It's just about turning them in the right way. But I just kind of knew how to apply that stuff on the ground and how to make that work as an addict. Do you know what I mean? Or to make that work for that. So it just kind of, I think that made me realise that I could contribute something to it. But like I say, it was that, I think just that exposure to Gilman, I think that really kind of sort of just made me feel like, no, hang on a minute, there's a place here for me at this table. I've got something, because if he can do it and he can be accepted, because like I sort of said, don't get me wrong, there's a ton of stuff that I love about him, but the first things that jumped out was he was fat and he was northern and he spoke like me and he wasn't a doctor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I say, there was all this stuff and I thought, and like I say, alongside probably him and Rowdy were the two that I thought taught the most sense out of that. I mean, I sat there at one, and he was a lovely girl. She'd done some fantastic work with David Best's research stuff, but she's talking about percentiles and you know, and all this, that, and the other.
No,
and I was just sat there like, oh, kill me now. Do you know what I mean? And then Gilly gets up, and somebody in the audience started heckling him a couple of minutes in, and he just pounced on him and was just got involved in this real off the cuff banter that just had everyone rolling around on the floor in stitches. But he just had them all eating out the palm of his hand. Do you know what I mean? And I just thought, oh, hang on a minute, no, it's not. It's not just the doctors, the academics, the professionals. It is us working class northern guys. If we get our, and again, I just think that's sort of one of the things that I think enables you to work well within this field. That if you've got those street smarts, and especially somewhere like Manchester, because it's a tough place to grow up, and you've got to have your head screwed on. Do you know what I mean? You've got to have your wits about you. So it just kind of, and that's a real transferable skill into working with addicts and stuff like that. Because you know, if you let them, they'll have you off left, right, and centre, and you know they'll piss on your leg and tell you it's raining. Do you know what I mean? And if you're gullible enough, you'll fall for it. But like I say, it was that sort of just those street smarts and that, having grown up in that area. Do you know what I mean? It just kind of really sort of helps, I feel, in any case. But like I say, seeing Mark there that first time just made me think, right, yeah, this is. I think I'm not onto a winner here, but I can contribute something meaningful. I think that's always been the thing for me. When anybody I get asked to get involved in a lot of stuff now, a lot of charity groups and community stuff, because people know I'm a doing and I can get shit done. But I'll only get involved if I can offer something meaningful. Do you know what I mean? I won't just get involved just for the sake of it or just for making up the numbers. And I think that was the bit for me was, can I offer something meaningful? Can I contribute to this conversation, to this subject, and move this stuff on anything? Or am I just going to be somebody who's just along for the ride as a passenger? Do you know what I mean? But like I said, once I realised that, and then I thought, right, okay, yeah, this is something that we can sort of, we can help